Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and start. This YouTube video is going to be for the ED 301 students, adding artifacts and rationales to your LiveText portfolio. Because there's quite a bit of information, it's actually going to be broken up into two YouTube videos, but you will find the links in our Blackboard class. As always, you're going to log in to www.livetext.com to get to your login username and enter it and your password and go ahead and log in. Now this portfolio here, yours will only have one candidate portfolio. So you will click on Continue Assignment in the box that has your candidate portfolio listed. You'll click on LiveText Docs to get to your portfolio. And we're going to let's pick Valerie Phillips, Elementary Education. Okay, this is your portfolio. It will have your name and your major and minor up here. The candidate introduction we have done in a previous YouTube video and as well as virtual session 5, so you have plenty of directions on how to add your introduction if you haven't already done that. I've had quite a few send me their introductions for me to look at first, and I enjoyed looking at those. Okay, in this YouTube video we're going to talk about how to add an artifact and rationale to goals. There are 4 goals in your portfolio: student-centered learning, disciplinary knowledge, professional knowledge, and socially responsible citizen. There are goal concepts in each one of these 4 goals. Let's look at the first one, student-centered learning. You will see that there are 3 goal concepts under student-centered learning: culturally responsive teaching, collaborative environments, and developmentally appropriate instruction. Everyone, leave the overview alone. Don't change anything there. Don't change the titles, culturally responsive teaching, collaborative environments, developmentally appropriate instruction. Leave that as is. What you are going to do to add an artifact is just an example of the work that you've done in an education course, or those of you in secondary education, if you're a history or English major, you may have written a fantastic paper or story or done something that would indicate your knowledge of your subject matter, and I'll show you where to put that. So just because you are mainly taking all secondary courses, you might not be able to have some things that you can use in all of these areas, but we are only going to talk about one in each one of these goals, only one. I am going to send out an email to everybody in ED 301 giving you a list of courses and assignments that I know you have done in those courses and where you could possibly put them. You don't have to put them where I say, just to give you an example. So that will be coming to you. It's about 3 or 4 pages long because I keep adding to the master list. So if you don't have something right now, you might by the end of the semester to add to it. But what I'm doing right now is showing you how to actually add your work to your portfolio. You're going to click on the edit button, and it's going to open a text box for culturally responsive teaching. I just picked that one. You will see directions in the text box. This is the same across the board in your portfolio. It's saying attach an artifact and write supporting rationale in the text box. A rationale is telling the reader, I picked this particular artifact from my EL class because it shows that I am a culturally responsive teacher. The lesson plan that is attached shows I understand the importance of reaching to the children and students in my classroom that do not have English language as their first language, and they may be struggling with it, and what I do to help them learn the concept or the topic. That is a rationale. In virtual session 6, I'm going to actually show you a sample of a good rationale that you can use. Now, I picked this just because I think it shows I am a culturally responsive teacher. Is not a good rationale. You have to tell why. Why does it show that you are a culturally responsive teacher, or whatever goal concept you have picked? But we're going to deal with this one because I want to show you how to attach. Let's say it's a lesson plan. First thing you're going to do is you're going to highlight the instructions and delete it, because the only thing that's going to go in here is your rationale, whatever it may be. Okay, that's going to go in there. We're going to save changes because we don't want to, we've written a fantastic rationale, we don't want to lose it. Now, some students are comfortable with actually writing it in a Word document, then copying it so they can make sure that their grammar is correct, their spelling's correct, there's no typos, all that kind of thing. And you can do it in a Word document, but then what you need to do is copy it from the Word document and come into your text box, delete the directions like I just did, and then whatever it may be, Control V will paste your rationale in here. Control V. Okay? And that'll paste it. You can also click on the paste clipboard and that will put it in there too. So some of you don't have any problem. There is a spell check in here and you can do it that way if you want. And it's somewhere, there it is, ABC. That'll check your spelling. But again, if you want to write it in a Word document, make sure it's all good like it needs to be, then copy it off the Word document and Control V, and that'll put it in the text box. Now I've just got an example. So we're going to attach example 1, which let's pretend it's a lesson plan from one of our EL classes. We're going to click on the edit. We're going to go to Upload New File, and then we're going to get our Browse button over here. We're going to click on Browse, and I've got it as example 1, and I'm going to open it, and it's going to take it a minute to download to your portfolio. It's almost done. It's 100%, but it'll say completed, and there it is. So I have now inserted the file. I'm going to click on Save Changes because if I don't, I might lose it because of a power outage or something happens. So I'm going to click on Save Changes so it's there. And then I'm going to click on Save and Finish. But before I click on the Save and Finish, your rationale, remember, you can do it in a Word document and Control V and paste it in here. You will see the file attachment is there, and I'm going to do Save and Finish. And it'll pop us back to our student-centered learning goal. And there it is. You will see your rationale in the text box right here, and you'll see your attachment of the document, and we were pretending that it was a lesson plan. And so your reader, whether it's going to be your TEP interviewer, your advisor, your senior methods person, professor, or your intern supervisor, all these different people look at your portfolio as you progress through Athens State, and all they have to do is click on the attachment and open it up, and there it is. Okay? Okay. Now, that is how to actually attach a document. Let's go on to the next one. And remember, you only pick one for ED 301. Now, if you've got things that'll go in these other areas, yes, you're going to want to add them, and you want to add them before you lose them. So I always recommend before the end of the semester or the first of the next semester, go ahead and add in all those great projects you have done for all the courses you have taken at Athens State your first or second semester. So that way it's saved. You don't lose it. If somebody steals your computer or it crashes or something weird happens to it, you spill a coffee all over it and it's over with. At least your information and all your good work is in your portfolio. Okay, let's go to the second one, disciplinary knowledge. This one also has 3 goal concepts in it, and content area comprehension, commitment to lifelong learning, passion for chosen field. And the thing about this is you only pick one again, only one. And content area comprehension, a lot of secondary ed people will pick a history paper or an English paper or a poem or something that they've done demonstrating that they do have good understanding of their content area. I've even had math students a test that they did exceptionally well on it actually attach the test where it was graded by the professor. That works too. Those of you in elementary, you're going to have plenty to add to this. Lesson plans galore. A lot of things you can put there. Again, the email that I'll be sending out will give you examples of what you can put there attached to different courses. But we're going to pick passion for chosen field. That's when we want to do something. And we have, we're a tennis coach. On the side, we have a full-time job, we go to school, we have a family, but you know what? We just have a passion for tennis, so we do the park and rec tennis or the middle school tennis or the high school tennis as a volunteer. And you may have this great picture of you coaching your tennis gals or guys. And again, if they are students, you need to make sure that it's okay with the parents that you put their picture in your portfolio. And I highly recommend have someone take a picture with you facing the camera and your team just seeing the back of their heads. That will work. But let's say we've got this phenomenal photo from a camp that we did or a conference we went to or a reading group we had. We've got a lot of preschool and daycare workers that you probably are doing things with the kids that show your passion for your field. So much can go here. So, but we're going to say we've got a photo. We're going to click on the edit button. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to delete the directions and we're going to delete them. We're going to type in our rationale. The photo that I have chosen is when I was running a tennis clinic working with my team on how to have a good backhand. I believe that this shows my passion for a chosen field because I worked very hard to have just the right kind of instruction, and then we had reinforcement with practice on the court, that kind of thing. And that's your rationale. Now, we're going to insert an image. It's not going to be a file. So we're going to click on the image, edit. We're going to do the same thing, upload new file. We'll click on browse, go look for our picture. And actually my example is a screenshot. And I'm going to select it and open. It takes it a minute to download. And as soon as it says it's completed, it is there. Now, you can do a caption if you want. You don't have to. Now, original is huge, y'all. It is huge. And sometimes you have to do this twice, but we're going to do small. And where do you want it in your text box? Because this actually will be in the picture will be in the text box itself. So I'd rather have my rationale and my photo underneath. So I'm going to say below text. and I'm going to click on Save Changes, and then see, you know what? This is a good example. I forgot to do Save Changes before I left out of there. So it wasn't there. So I've got my rationale, and that is why you always click on Save Changes, because as soon as you leave the screen, it's gone. Now you'll notice it ended up being huge. So I'm going to go back, and I've been practicing this, and I've discovered I've had to go back and do it twice. So I click on Edit, because for some reason it's not accepting that I want the small. And see, it went back to original. So it won't take a second. I'm going to go back and say, hey, I do want it small, and I do want my photo below my rationales, and I'm going to click on Save Changes. And you know, after you do this a few times, you just fly through it. You really, really do. And then I'm click on Save and Finish. And I don't understand why it doesn't accept it the first time, but when I was practicing this, I noticed that it didn't work. Okay, so now you've got your rationale.